Aloha Kupuna. Thank you so much for joining us today on Kupuna Network. Today I'm going to be making Inamona poke. Super delicious, one of my favorites. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a little bit of green onions. The recipe for today is going to be for 1 pound of poke. So I'd like to go with about 3 stalks here, 3 little stalks. And knife safety, very important, as well as washing your hands. So for the knife, we're gonna make sure that our fingers are curled in, our thumbs are tucked in. You can get it in a nice little stack, and then you're just gonna rock your knife back and forth. Get some nice thin slices. Once we get all of these nice thin slices of green onion, the reason I like to keep them thin is because it can be a little overpowering if you take a big bite of a green onion. Same with your yellow onions, so we'll try to keep them as thin as possible. Once you cut your green onions, we'll just go ahead, put them aside for now. All right, now with the yellow onions, I like to use sweet Maui onions. It adds a nice sweet flavor to your poke. You know, the white onion can get a little bitter sometimes. However you feel comfortable cutting this onion will be the best way to cut it for you. I like to keep them in small pieces again because it doesn't get too overpowering. For me, I do thin slices on my onion sideways here, about a 1/2 inch apart, keeping it in one piece, and I go ahead and do thin slices about a 1/2 inch apart the other way. Again, being very cautious of your fingers because they're super important to us. After that, you've got nice 1/2 inch strips, and you can just dice all the way down. How easy is that? All right. I'm gonna break up our yellow onions here, and then we'll put it on the plate to the side. From here, what you're gonna wanna do is grab your ahi and start to cube that. You don't have to make ahi poke. You can make these recipes with any kind of fish you want. Not any kind, make sure to do your research beforehand, but some examples would be nairagi, which is a type of swordfish. You can do toro, which is bluefin fatty tuna. You could do mackerel, I guess, if you wanted to, but you know, anything, whatever fits your palate. So I like to do the thin slices like this, so you can get nice cubes. We'll just go lengthwise on your fish and get nice thin pieces. From here, you like to turn your fish sideways and get however big your cubes you like. Some people like really small cubes, some people like really big cubes. But I like just a nice medium-sized dice. So you'll come right down like this. Always being careful for your hands again. All right, now we got our beautiful ahi here. What I'd like to do is bring a bowl out, and we're going to place our ahi cubes inside of the bowl. All right, so we got our poke here. First thing I like to do is add salt. Got a nice coating of salt. You're going to use a little bit more than you'd think you need. And I like to use coarse Hawaiian sea salt. This stuff is delicious. It adds a really nice crunch to the fish. Best eaten immediately after mixed. So I do this to taste, but I want you to see this. I like to get a nice crust of salt coming over the top of the ahi. A nice thin layer, about 3 pinches. All right. Secondly, I like to add my green onions and my yellow onions, sweet onions. So we'll take a nice pinch, about a tablespoon for this first one. This all depends on what you like, so do it to taste. Second one, So about 2 tablespoons of green onions here now. And I'm gonna do the exact same amount of yellow sweet onions. So 1, 2. You know what? I'm gonna add 1 more pinch for good luck. So we'll have about 3 tablespoons of diced yellow onions there. From here, sesame oil, very, very important in your poke, but also it can be extremely overpowering. People tend to put more than they should. So this is gonna be about 1 teaspoon. You wanna do a nice little drizzle. Very little. It'll add a nice sheen to the fish, the oil, as well as flavor, but if you put too much, very overpowering. Now finally, one of the last items is gonna be soy sauce. So I like to use a light soy sauce here, which is not extremely overpowering for the fish. You can still taste your ahi. So I'm gonna put about 2 to 3 tablespoons in here. 4 tablespoons, 1 for good luck. All right. Now last but not least, Inamona. It's roasted kukui nuts, absolutely delicious. You can pick this up at Foodland, Times, they all got it. And this again to taste. Adds a nice nuttiness, crunchiness. We're gonna do about 3 tablespoons. And then, all you gotta do is mix it up. From here, we'll just do a nice little toss. You don't wanna beat on the ahi too much. Just kinda toss it. Voila. I'm gonna put this back in a bowl here for you guys, so you can see it all nice together. Beautiful. How's this? See how this tastes. Absolutely delicious. Thank you guys again for joining us today on the Kapuna Network. We'll see you again soon. Aloha.